welcome back to We Got Goosebumps, a podcast dedicated to the landmark horror series for children, written by R.L. Stine back in the 1990s. Not the 1890s, not the 2090s, which haven't happened yet. But I'm your crabby toy store owner, Dylan.
And I'm your creepy, beefy, and deaf Aunt Travis. That's me, Dylan. That's who I am. I'm bringing the beef tonight, bud.
I mean, you're bringing, like, none of those things, actually. I don't want to say you're too much of a creepy, beefy, or even, you're definitely not deaf.
I'm definitely not deaf. I am creepy and beefy. Please, let me have that.
Okay, you're a creepy,
Let me have creepy or beefy. Which one would you give me between creepy and beefy? This is an either-or scenario.
I'll either give you creepy or beepy. Whichever of those two.
Whatever.
Creepy sounds like a Taco Bell menu item that went bad. Like you just want a chimichanga Creefalito.
That does sound good. It sounds like it's layered with beans that they don't even have. They like bring out some old kidney beans that you didn't even know they had back then.
Children need beans, please.
They do.
No.
Yes. Oh, I thought you said children need beans. You were saying
yes,
children need beans, like a kidney bean.
Exactly.
You don't want to say kid.
Yes,
I get it 100%.
Episode 3, I'm taking this to just aggressive levels. So by the end of, like, this stretch of books that we're doing, it's going to be violent. I will be calling for revolution on air. But today we have number 3 in the series. That series being Goosebumps by R.L. Stine, which is Monster Blood, which was released in September of 1992, just at the start of the school season. What was your experience with the book, Travis? Your first experience, not the most recent one.
This was the cover that I remember the most as a kid. I don't know if this one was just a common one, but I felt like our school library always had the Monster Blood in there, and that's what, I always got excited about, that Monster Blood. I don't remember if I read it all the way through. I might have, while, library was kind of a class when you were a kid. Like, sometimes your class just went to the library. I think I, skimmed the first, 4 or 5 chapters a few times while I was in there, but never went home with it, I don't think. So this was my first time reading all the way through the Monster Blood, or the MB, as I like to call it.
You do have a way of putting things to slang, making it into a slang. The Discord is filled
the old
with
MB.
The Discord is filled with your slangifications.
That's right. What about you?
I think once I started reading the second book, which is Stay Out of the Basement, Stay Out of the Basement was probably my start, and then I think after that was fairly regularly, probably not as they came out, but I would get them in little clumps. I'd probably get 4 or 5 Goosebumps at a time. So this one I probably got from the Scholastic Book Fair, got the Stay Out of the Basement, the next book. So I probably got 2, 3, 4, and 5 or something like that. Or as many as I could get my paws on. And
you did have paws as a young man, which will come back in a later episode that we do about a boy that turns into a monster, but that's neither here nor there. We won't bring up your paws now.
There's 5 or 6 of them where they turn
There's
into
several,
monsters.
Yeah. So I know I couldn't be wrong with that sentence. I don't know why I stressed about it.
But yeah. So I definitely, this was another one of the ones that I read and reread as a child. I wasn't as big. I'm gonna confess something. For the sequel series, Slappy, who we haven't gotten to yet, but we'll get to Slappy. Is that 7? Is that one the?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think it's in the
there.
first 10 though. He's pretty early on too, I think. But Monster Blood, there's 4 or 5 in the whole series.
4, yeah.
And I was never a fan of the kind of the series ones. I think even as a kid, I found them less interesting than a whole new plot, but revisiting, I don't want to keep seeing Evan or that stupid dummy or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And knowing that there's a sequel sets you up a bit while you're reading it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, it's not like these Goosebumps books ever end with everybody dying, but with the sequel, well, I know the end of this, the Monster Blood's going to survive because there's Monster Bloods 2, 3, and 4. So it does it takes a little bit of the, the mystique out of the whole thing. There are a few things that happen in this book that I think are pretty common experiences for kids. I jotted down a couple here because I wanted to see if you had any of these same experiences. As a kid, did you ever buy anything weird? Like you were given an allowance and you went and spent it on just something dumb because you had some weird kid curiosity? Because I do have a story. For some reason, my parents, they gave me like $5 a month. Kid minimum wage was different back when we were growing up. $5 a month could get you pretty far when you were 8. And I remember I went to this gas station, and for some reason I really wanted this this Budweiser beer bottle opener. Served no other purpose than to open beer bottles. And for some reason I just really wanted it. And I spent like 75 cents on that thing, and I was like so proud of it. And I was like, I couldn't use it. I mean, maybe on a root beer or something. I didn't get root beer often enough to justify even this purchase. So I just had a Budweiser beer opener when I was 8.
And I think even like Barks, like if you're going for like a Barks root beer or something, like those are usually twist off caps anyway. It's not like nowadays where like you have craft root or sodas that you have to actually pop the cap.
Yeah. Even in the 90s, they didn't require you to like break the end of your root beer off on a table to get to it. You could twist that right off, but I had to have that bottle opener, man.
I was never. Oh God. I just you asking that question because I was about to say like I bought tons of like weird crap. I was a weird kid, but then I just remembered the thing that like just out of nowhere. I'm going to start it off by saying I bought it in Virginia Beach, so we're going to start off on that level of trash right there.
Wow! And to all of our Virginia Beach listeners, move.
Yeah, seriously, because it's
yeah.
It's not a trash.
It's
okay. It's fine. It's a little trashy.
Yeah.
It's touristy.
I mean, there's some parts of everywhere that's bad. Yeah, sure.
And in that place, it's all of Virginia Beach. But so anyway, I'm down on like, not the boardwalk. It's just like because they don't have a boardwalk, but like the street that runs like near the beach where we were staying. I found shell art, and it was like 4 men made out of shells at a table also made of shells playing poker. My favorite pastime as an 8-year-old. And I wanted that, and I had that for years just on my desk, like bits and pieces of the shells falling off. So one of the poker men, like his head fell off.
How old were you when you got this?
It was when I lived in North Carolina first time. So I was no older than 10. I was younger than 10.
And you just had to have it.
I did.
Had to have it. And then you did have it. That's the stuff right there, man. And it stuck with you. You still have this thing?
Oh, God, no. I have never taken very good care of things. Don't ever let me borrow stuff. I think I've even told you that when we were talking about, like, how you miss, like, letting people borrow game collections. Like, never let me borrow anything you own. Just never.
It's true. It's true. I never will. I often just give you things full on, never expecting to see them again. And so far, that's been working out.
Yeah. It's for the best, honestly.
Yeah. All right, good. Well, we both bought something weird. I think that'll bridge us over to talking about the cover, because there's some great the cover for this one is really good, and we have to go through the description of it on an audio medium. So folks, gear up. We got a staircase and probably what I'm imagining a 2-story ranch-style home with a dog-leg staircase leading up to the upper floor, probably where all the bedrooms are in the house and the second bathroom.
Sorry, I just love the fact that you said dog-leg. I just, you don't really hear that. It's said a lot. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's I think it's an architectural term for a staircase, but anyway, it's got a bend in it. And there's a bit of a platform there, where as you're turning the corner there to go up the steps. We're talking wooden steps. Maybe some carpet. It looks like maybe there would be a carpet runner right down the middle, a red carpet there attached to the wooden steps. And you see the title there. It says Monster Blood, but then the cover itself violates your perception of what blood is, because it's a green substance trickling down the steps. And what I always liked about this cover, Dylan, is that the aesthetic of the drips really matches that Goosebumps logo. I think it's a good match. There, you got the drippiness, and you got there's some bifocals, there's some glasses right there in the gunk, as if somebody maybe was devoured by the goop. That's a Monster Blood cover there for you. What do you think?
This one kind of goes back to the first cover where it's a little more understated. Like, yes, as an adult, this terrifies and horrifies me that someone spilled a green viscous liquid on my how did that carpet runner work exactly? Like, it's got to be all bunched up. There's like, I got a kink in it. Whatever. Anyway, but like, that's just disgusting. I don't want to have to deal with that mess. I would throw the whole carpet runner and just roll it up from the top down. You'd have to. Just trash. I don't think it's as scary as a Stay Out of the Basement with the monster hand, but I love. You feel like it's too late. Whatever the hero is supposed to do, that's his glasses.
I like that.
He's gone.
Yeah. That's a good point. I do like that. It's too late. Whatever, like, you think this is like the later chapter of the book being presented to you, you know? It's not setting anything up. This is what's left at the end of Monster Blood. That's what you're thinking. I like that. It also says it's a monster blood drive at the top, which is of the more comical little taglines that we have on the front. Because I think the first two are just like, it will kill you. The house will kill you in the first book. And I can't even remember what the second one is. This one's it's a monster blood drive, which is kind of funny. I think that stokes some humor.
This is definitely a little bit of a cheekier tone to this book in general. Like, it's monster blood, it's green blood coming down the stairs. There's no hint at what is happening. Like, if you haven't read this book, you're just like, oh wait, maybe the monster was killed and that's his blood or something. Like, you don't realize what monster blood really is. Let me say is 5 more times. I feel like good.
Say it as many times as you'd like, bud. I do want to point out the 2000 and what am I looking at here? The 2008 re-release is just bad, in my opinion. They took your monster blood that's no longer a gooping, oozing thing. They've really, honestly, spoiled a little bit of the book in some weird way. Like, they do show it as the blob, you know, that comes and sucks everything up to it. I don't know. It's not my flavor for a freaking horror cover.
It's also less scary in some way. Like the other one, like, oh, whose glasses are those? They didn't make it out. And what's crazy is, like, there are covers that use like a full-gone monster on the cover, even for this book for Monster Blood, because we actually have, again, access to the international covers as well. And if you go to the South Korean cover, it has like their own version of what the monstrous entity at the end of the book looks, but it's because the style is more of I want to say like colored pencil, like it has a texture to it, or chalk or something like that. Like, it's a very sinister but also still very goofy looking monster. But I think it's just more impactful, and the design of the cover also is nice and is more subtle.
Yeah, the South Korean one definitely has more of like a 70s Scooby-Doo vibe.
Yeah,
that I like.
This book is kind of almost has a Scooby-Doo-esque feel to it. Not in terms of like what the actual plot ends up being, but more in terms of just like, I could hear a zoinks or two being shouted out in the middle of them scampering away from the monster blood
100%.
Or giant dogs. And
100%. Let's talk about the Dutch.
Yes.
Can we get to the Dutch?
So there's two things we want to talk about. This cover for the Dutch version makes so much more sense knowing what we know about the changes to the story. So let's talk about the cover for the Dutch, and then we can talk about the changes to the story for the Netherlands once we've talked about the actual story. But a crime has happened. Or about to happen, according to this cover.
Oh, I love this cover. I mean, this has that. It has that 80. I mean, a lot of R.L. Stein's teen-centric novels that released before Goosebumps, like Your First Date and Blind Date. I don't know. He's got a lot of like teen romance.
The New Girl, I think, is the first one.
Yeah, and they all have this really soft-toned, almost Babysitter's Club with an evil bent aesthetic to them.
It's exactly that. It's like a Babysitter's Club, but like the killers in the house. Like, that's what those covers are.
100%. And this one just freaking nails it, because it's basically, I mean, if we were to think that the lady here, it could either be represented as Evan's mom. It's probably Andy here that's being shown. But it reminds me of one of the first scenes of the book when he shows up and Aunt Catherine opens the door and she's standing there and she's a big imposing figure and she's very scary. This book nails that scene. That's almost exactly how I imagine that. So I think I really like it. And they also call, how do you say that in Keppenville? That's how
that must be what
they call their Goosebumps.
Yeah, that must be the Dutch equivalent for Goosebumps, because they might not have Goosebumps. They might have something
Right.
else. Or,
Yeah.
but we might have to ask our favorite Dutchman.
We will. We
But,
if you're listening, please
I'm
tell us
gonna-
how you say goosebumps.
I'm going to give a shot at the title as translated from English. Monster Blood. I think that's pretty good, honestly.
Now do the South Korean one.
That's okay. But this is not the last time we're going to be talking about the Dutch in this episode because they made some changes to the book that are interesting. Very interesting.
Well, the South Korean one is Canned Devil.
Canned Devil.
Gotta shout that out.
That's a great.
Gotta shout out Canned Devil.
Oh, some of the other titles. A Jar of Devil, Blood Doom Camera. Oh, that's the next book. So A Jar of Devil, Blood Quarter, Bloody Monsters, Demon Blood in China.
In Italy, it's A Monstrous Jar. Or the
jar's
Killer
not
Jar.
the problem.
Now I think we have to have a bit on this podcast, Dylan, where we do go look at the British cover because they are the absolute worst. And we do get one of the worst things I've ever seen. They bring back their gelatinous black-eyed peas swirled around a can. It's orange, and our little canister has a jack-o'-lantern face. Now, Monster Blood the goop is coming out, but man, that is just honestly some of the worst stuff I've ever seen.
I'm concerned that the British think Goosebumps are whatever these little blobby things are. They're just like,
oh no.
I don't know what. Oh God, am I going to attempt to do a British accent? Let's not.
Sounded like you were.
It does.
You should get it.
Luckily, I bailed on that one at the last second. But it really does look like we don't know what Goosebumps are, so maybe they're these things, these green frog's eggs that surround people.
That's rough looking. I don't like it. I don't like it, British. If you're British and you're out there, please go talk to your local Scholastic publisher. Let them know you do not like what happened in 1993. Because that was when it came out there. Oh, well, I feel like it's time for the gosh dang plot.
I don't think we spent actually a full hour talking about the cover, but I guess we can move along to the plot. Travis.
All right. Well, we're going to kick it off here, Dylan. Chapter 1.
Is it going to be chapter 1?
Now, it's chapter 1. Dum, dum, dum. Chapter 1. The thing that gets me here now, that R.L. Stein really playing on these family emergencies. You know, Aunt Eleanor last episode wasn't doing too hot. Mom had to go check her out down in Tempe. And now we got another semi-family emergency here in that Evan has to go stay with his great aunt while his parents go find a new home. The dad's getting transferred down Atlanta way. He's got to go stay with his great aunt. He hasn't seen her since he was 2. He's not happy about it. And I got to say, I'm thinking of my own great aunts. Now, a lot of them sweet ladies, but I don't know, 2 weeks with even one of them would be too much.
See, I've actually been in this exact situation where my family had to move to New York from North Carolina. And so we stayed with my grandparents for about a week. I don't think it was 2 weeks, but for about a week while they were apartment hunting up in the Bronx. So I've been through, except I enjoyed staying with my grandparents. So that was in no way, shape, or form running around in the foothills of Virginia, looking for crawdads. Good time.
Yeah, they're closer to the creek. They're not so much in the hills themselves, but you were trying, and that's important. Now, Evan here, he's 12 years old. He's not happy about this. And we're the days, the Game Boy's around, at least. He could entertain himself with some Nintendo if he wanted to, but he might not have that opportunity. He does get to take his old-ass dog, his 12-year-old, what kind of dog is that? It was a
Cocker Spaniel.
Cocker Spaniel named Trigger gets to go hang out with him. So, hey, at least you got you a dog. You got you a pal. You go hang out with Aunt Catherine there with your pal Trigger. It's not so bad, right?
I mean, again, when I was abandoned by my parents at my grandparents' house. No, wait,
was that abandonment?
No, it wasn't abandonment. No, that actually wasn't abandonment. I'm sorry. When I was left there, I was also left with our dog. So that was. Wait, actually, no.
You did have a dog?
What am I talking about? At that time, no, I did not. I'm making up a lie. This needs to go. We can't have this in the podcast.
You had an imaginary friend named Dog, the bounty hunter, that you fed cheesesteak and made chase you around the yard. I get it. I had the same friend.
When we moved from New York back to North Carolina. Anyway, doesn't matter. that was a bunch of pointless. So let's move along. But
well, Evan heard his parents talking about this plan. You know, he did one of those things where his parents are having a bit of a chat downstairs. He probably had his head through the banister rail just listening. What are they talking about? Here, I heard my name. And here's his dad talking about this. Aunt Catherine, she's been deaf for 20 years, never learned sign language or lip reading, so she's basically impossible to communicate with. And she did look after Evan's dad in a similar scenario about 30 years ago. So when Evan's dad was with Aunt Catherine, she had her faculties about her. She could hear and interact. But at some point after that, she changed. And even Dad is like, not even bringing the fact that she can't really communicate anymore into it. He's like, dude, she's a little weird. And even Evan was like, did I just hear them call her weird and they're going to send me to hang out with this old weird lady for 2 weeks? Ugh.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I mean, while I like my grandparents, we've all have probably relatives or friends of the family or whatever that you were dragged along to go see. That wasn't a good time. It was something you didn't look forward to. And then, God forbid you have a situation like this, too, where you hear your parents being like, oh, we don't want to go. But it'll be okay. The kids will be fine. Like, that's not right. I think that was the most damning thing is his dad is like, whew, should we leave him there? And it's just like, golly, if I was Evan, I'd be terrified. And it's funny because I remember not liking Evan very much. And maybe he becomes obnoxious in the later books. I don't remember anything, like what happens later. But like, in the first chapter, he's very whiny, but as an adult, I'm like, yeah, he's whiny. He heard that his like own dad is like on the fence about Aunt Catherine. So his response is very reasonable to me as an adult.
Yeah, I agree, and he's milking it too, man. He's giving his mom all the guff as they stroll up to Aunt Catherine's porch, and
he's sassy. He's got a bit of sass in him, yeah.
Yeah, he's not a big fan. He's been throwing out all of the, like, I don't want to do this. This is dumb. Please, why, God? They knock on the door, and Aunt Catherine answers the door, but it's while his mom is turned to face him because he had just asked, like, Mom, what if she's mean? And his mom turned around to kind of scold him a little bit, like, Evan, don't be saying stuff like that. Even though she's deaf.
Oh, when that happened, that felt so much like when you're a kid and you've crossed the line that you didn't know existed, and then your mom just like whirls on you, and you're just like, ah! Like, because he says something that's a little like, what if she's this old mean bat or something, like kind of disrespectful, and that's when she like spins on him, and she's like, dude, you crossed the line on that one. Like, you need to back off a little bit.
Seriously. Yeah, and then the door freaking opens right there, and Aunt Catherine emerges, and she's described as a very large woman with black hair. The black hair is apparently a distinct detail R.L. Stine wants us to know. It comes up a lot. She has black hair, folks.
Well, she's supposed to be 83 years old, so the fact that she has like pitch black hair is disconcerting on. But he describes her as like a linebacker the entire time, so it's hard to think of her as like the super young, old woman when he's constantly like, and then she lifted 2 grown men on each shoulder and walked around the house. It's just like, I don't think she's 83.
When she crossed the river, the Oregon Trail, she caulked the wagons herself, and she carried both oxen across. Very strong woman. She's the Dutch cover, is what I'll say. But the black hair, maybe she used just for old bats hair dye, as opposed to just for men. She's also holding a blood-covered knife.
No.
Oh,
it's not just. It's dripping. Like, it's not just has blood smeared on it. It's dripping blood on the floor. Like, it is
creating a mess.
It is
creating a mess.
That's what I'm concerned about.
Well, we get our first readout here in chapter 2.
Oh my god. Can I please talk about how the reader for the audiobook does her voice, at least in the first couple chapters. He backs off a little bit, but when he does her voice, it is so off-putting and weird, and I love it so much. And just the line, I was slicing beef, you like beef, is just... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Can you mimic the way he did it? Because I don't remember it.
I was slicing beef. You like beef? Like, it was kind of like he was like really leaning into how weird like, Oh, I wish I had the book in front. I literally had it in front of me, and I was hoping to have. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, she says, well, she does say what Dylan said there. She goes, I was slicing beef, she said in a surprisingly deep voice, waving the blood-stained kitchen knife. She stared at Evan. You like beef? Yeah, he managed to reply, his chest still fluttery from the shock of seeing her appear with the raised knife. RL. That's a good one. For a Chapter 1 spooker, that was pretty fun.
Especially since the danger's not really past. Like, it's not like... the danger's not really gone. She's still a strange woman holding a bloody knife. Like, that's not really better.
Yeah. Talking very loudly about beef, which to me, huge turn on. You know, if a woman such as Aunt Catherine answered the door for me with beef on the mind, I'm down. But for a 12-year-old boy who has to live there, I get it. Aunt Catherine is described as very large and boisterous, and she asks Evan. She tries to stoke up conversation, it's kind of comical. But she asks if he's a troublemaker or has a girlfriend, and that embarrassed Evan. But his Aunt Catherine keeps bringing up his dad, how his dad was always into the girls, and Evan's like, I don't want to hear about that.
It's just so, because of the fact that she is deaf, she's like a train just rolling over them, like very deliberately, because it goes beyond she didn't learn sign language. She truly does not paying attention to them at all.
She don't care. And she doesn't give a shit about them. Yeah, it's funny. And Mom keeps asking Aunt Catherine questions as if she can hear her. She definitely can't. Evan has to keep reminding her, like, Mom, she can't hear. And then Evan also takes advantage of that and complains a little bit right in front of Aunt Catherine. Really tests the bounds of Aunt Catherine's hearing capabilities. I mean, we don't know if she just can't hear anything or if she's just hard of hearing, but Evan tests those waters. And then Evan, out loud, this is funny, when Aunt Catherine's standing there with him, Aunt Catherine kept saying, he likes the girls. It says Catherine repeated, leering at him with her cold blue eyes, again lowering her face close to Evan's, and then, Mom, her breath smells like triggers, Evan exclaimed miserably. Evan, Mrs. Ross shouted angrily, stop it, I expect you to cooperate. But telling her that her breath smells like triggers right in front of her was one of my favorite moments of the book. I'm not going to lie to you, Dylan.
And he that's not the when I first read that book, I can still remember thinking like, oh, that's going to come back where she's like, I could hear you the whole time, Evan. And she's like, oh, no. Because I would never do that because of the fact that, like, they're faking. At the moment I say something like, oh, her breath smells like dog food, I'm going to find out. It's like, oh, I had my hearing aids in. You're dead now. So I had the same uneasiness. Like, this is all going to come back on poor Evan. I'm going to want to ask you about Evan's accommodations. I know you've probably stayed with relatives throughout when you were a child, correct? Or did you not?
No, they were all dead.
Oh, okay.
No, I still don't have relatives.
Okay.
Not that I would just get more. I wasn't really born with any.
Okay. All right. Well, so sometimes when I stayed with my relatives, you okay, man? Like, do you need like a hug occasionally, or?
Oh, it's okay. It's fine. Okay. I mean, I wished I had been adopted, but that wasn't the hand I was dealt.
Okay. Yeah, that's. Okay, so anyway, sometimes staying with relatives, you didn't actually have a guest room or something, or friends. You have, I don't even want to know.
Oh, I did say, I had friends.
Yeah, you might stay in a room that's not officially a bedroom, and he gets put in this old study, like this big old study filled with books, which sounds, honestly, even as a child, being stuck in a creepy old study with books lining the shelves that are hundreds of years old. I'm like, Evan, you need to give this a shot.
This sounds awesome, right? Tons of books. I love digging through old ass books, especially like old anatomy books where they call like the femur the old leggy stick, and you're like, whoa, they hadn't even named it a femur in 1713.
I literally got my friend who went to medical school. wow, medical school. For his like graduation gift, gave him a book from like the 19th century that's like, and then once you pour the pureed leeches into their ear, they will be fine and they can have sex again.
Whoa. That's
Leeches.
not where you want to put those.
No,
Jeez, Louise.
It gets the motor running again, apparently. But yeah, I would have loved to stay in that room. Maybe not with Aunt Catherine, but she's not in that room with him, so he's fine.
Right, yeah. And so Mom finally convinces Evan. She's like, be brave, my little prince, and leaves him there with Aunt Catherine. She speeds off to Atlanta to go hang out with Dad and have raucous sex and find a new home for the family. But Evan continues to inspect this study, as you and I seem to think we would also.
Oh, yeah.
And as he's poking around, he opens the closet, and something leaps out at him, and then everything goes black. Dylan, oh my God. What is it?
Well,
Dum!
in the interest of fairness, this is kind of a trope in horror movies to have a cat, a black cat no less, jumping out onto him and scaring the dickens out of both the audience and the main character in the book. But this is the first time, I think, that R.L. Stine has ever used a cat in this manner, so I'll let it pass this time.
So far we are on
the third book.
episode 3.
Yeah.
We'll mark this. I mean, we have to celebrate all the firsts. This is the first time R.L. Stine has used
the first time that he's revealed that cats are evil, as they are. But
Come on now.
But then we have Aunt Catherine comes in because she's like, I guess, you know what? I was just about to say, like, she probably heard all the noise, but she didn't. So how'd she know to come up there? But so she comes up and she decides to tell her, oh, that's my cat, Sarah Beth. I'm just going to keep trying at that voice until I can get it. And just telling him over and over again.
That time you sounded like an old president.
I can't figure out how to describe how he does her voice. It's like a weird mix of like if Blanche Dubois was played by a drag queen and also had her motions turned off at the same time.
Blanche Devereaux?
Dubois.
From the Golden Girls?
Yeah, no, Dubois.
Who's Dubois?
I thought it was Dubois. Am I mixing two?
I thought it was Blanche Devereaux from the Golden Girls?
We're gonna have to look this up.
Oh, I know I'm right on this.
I assume you're right. I'm bad with names in real life.
But I know
and
my Golden
Dubois.
Girls, dude. I know my Golden Girls, bro.
Hey, I don't want to say. I'm going to edit this podcast so I can cut all of that out. That is from Tennessee Williams' Streetcar Named Desire, not the Golden Girls. I might have to leave that in. Moving on.
Do something with it. Do something with it. But yeah.
But yeah. So I'm going to try. I'm going to try and read Aunt Catherine's speech about Sarah Beth, the cat, the black cat. Did Sarah Beth scare you? Catherine asked Evan, still smiling. That cat has a strange sense of humor. She's evil. Pure evil. She chuckled as she said something funny. I was kind of going for Herman Munster in Pet Sematary.
Oh.
That's what I was starting to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she didn't sound like that in the book either. But she is very insistent that this cat has both a strange sense of humor and very evil. But as a result of the cat, Trigger starts freaking out. Like he's barking, and while she can't hear Trigger, she can see him trumping up and trying to kill Sarah Beth or attack Sarah Beth or whatever Cocker Spaniels do to cats.
And it's worth noting that Aunt Catherine says the word evil an amount of times.
How many did you
She
count?
keeps saying no, but it's an amount that sticks out. I was like, all right. It's weird that we're planting that seed pretty hard, pretty early. And that might be hindsight because I read the book physically and then I brushed up on the audiobook before we did this. And I was like, boy, she does say evil a bunch right here. I was going to say, but like you said, Trigger gets all excited. And then Aunt Catherine tells Evan just to follow her and bring Trigger. Like her demeanor shifts from like, hey, what's going on up here? You like your new digs? Oh, that's just my cat. To, hey, bring your dog.
She specifically says, take care of the dog, I think. And he doesn't know, like, they literally go for, like, we'll go take care of the problem. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah, and of course his mind flashes back to that bloody knife she was holding when they opened the door. So now we're on our way down the steps with Trigger and Aunt Catherine. Dum, dum, dum!
And if Evan read Welcome to Dead House, he knows Trigger's not safe.
That's right. That's a good point. No animal can be considered safe with R.L. Stine after that. But, it turns out that he follows Aunt Catherine through the backyard with Trigger. Here he drops that she's at least 80, but she moves good for her age. And I'm like, get it, Aunt Catherine. Get it. Yeah, girl.
I think of her like walking with stride and purpose. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to get in. Like, she'll just stiff arm you just right out of the way as she's just coming down the street.
I picture like every mid-50s elementary school teacher I had on a mission down the hallway to stop some kid from being a jackass. Like, that's how I pictured her storming. Like, because she's probably 30, being 80, she's probably physically about 30 years younger in terms of the way she's described here. So I just kind of picture her as it's kind of a heavy set, very assertive 50-year-old fifth grade teacher. But she actually had just built a little area for Trigger so that he could be roped up and he wouldn't be inside and fight the cat. So she was actually it's not great to tie the dog up all day, but
yeah,
she was just leading him to some accommodation.
Yeah. And if you got a problem, you got a solution. At least she didn't want to take care of him. And then she even gives him like oatmeal cookies and milk. I mean, they're oatmeal raisin cookies and milk, but you can't be too complainy. She did take him in. And then after
I would have been a little bit complaining. I'm I'm not a big fan of the oatmeal cakes. Come on, give me the zebra cakes. That was or the fudge rounds.
Did you just imagine Hostess treat cakes and Drake cakes when you were thinking of oatmeal? People make
oatmeal cookies.
Yeah, she probably made these cookies. Yeah, because she makes pies.
What?
Yeah, she didn't crack out a bunch of ho-hos for him. She was like, I made these cookies,
which is disappointing, right? It's like, well, I don't want your love cookies. I'd rather have something made in a factory downtown that's actually quality. Thank you, ma'am.
I did get a lecture from my grandmother about the difference between the boxed macaroni and cheese and the macaroni and cheese she makes. Except I was never foolish enough to tell her that I preferred the boxed Kraft macaroni and cheese. It was some kids at church that she brought me, and they were like, "We don't want this macaroni." And she was like, "You don't say that."
Oh,
Grandma.
buddy.
But
now those kids are dead, and she lives on.
Oh, that's true. That's how she goes. But Evans, he needs to bail out of here. He's got his food. He needs to go practice playing some basketball. Walking down the street just like Josh might do. Except he doesn't need to get a basketball. He's got his own dog. So he tells Aunt Catherine that he's gonna go for a walk. He does a little bit of sign language that most people would understand. Does little fingers walk and points to the dog, and she's like, thumbs up. And
get out of here, you.
But so he's walking through this neighborhood. And again, like, same kind of thing when you're in a strange place and just kind of taking a look around. I was like, these are houses. That's interesting. Gotta kill some time. But Trigger is just, he's a bit of a stubborn dog. He's not a very bright dog, and he just books it. Takes off after a squirrel and jerks right out of Evan's hands. And I'm assuming that we're never going to see Trigger again, because the last time a dog ran away in our R.L. Stine book. But
last time a dog ran away, we never had a chance to bury it. Let's be honest.
But
we never got to say goodbye.
Evan's a little older than Josh was. Like, Josh was like 10 or 8. Like, he's a younger brother. And Evan's got some legs on him. He's able to run down. And the Cocker Spaniel's also 12, so that probably helped. But he's able to run down that dog. But then all of a sudden, we see the return of a familiar R.L. Stine cliffhanger, which is the old hand on the shoulder. And it could be anyone. This could be like Satan.
It could be anybody.
It could be Satan. It could be a plant man. It could be a real estate agent with a peculiar name. Who is it?
I don't know if it's Compton Dolls, but someone does say, "Hey, who are you?" Dum dum dum. It's actually a not so very shy girl named Andrea who goes by Andy, who I find annoying because she's one of those kids that just calls everything stupid. She's like, I don't like my name, Andrea. It's so stupid. It's Andrea.
So we're going to have a fight because I love these two. These are like my favorite two kids so far.
I mean, she grows on me, but out of the gate, she's like, so stupid. Everything's just so stupid.
But then Evan actually turns it around with a good one when she's just like, what's your dog's name? I bet it's a stupid name. And he's like, yeah, it's Trigger. And yeah, it is kind of a stupid name for a 12-year-old Cocker Spaniel, but we didn't think he'd live this long. And then she's just like, what's your name? I bet it's a stupid name. And he's just like, yeah, it's Evan Stupid. And she's like,
got her ass.
And the moment the text said something along the lines of, Evan felt pretty good because he made her laugh, and most of the girls back home didn't like him because they thought he was weird. And she's like, yeah, I don't know how that's at all, but you get her, Evan. You go after that son child.
That did make me feel feels that moment where it's like no girls back home had ever laughed at Evan until he called himself stupid in front of Andy. You know, it's like, that sucks.
That's kind of a low point. It's just like, well, defecating.
Same thing. I mean, it's self-defecating is still self-deprecating. So whatever makes the girls laugh, bud.
Yeah, especially when you're 10.
But I think he's 12. But either way,
he's 12.
Well, now that he's self-defecated, I mean, there's a big difference between 10 and 12. For me, anyway. But now that he's all self-defecated, Andy says, let's go into town. It's only a couple blocks away. Maybe we can get into some, hijinks. Maybe go visit a store or something. He's like, I'm down. So, not much of a cliffhanger here, but for old tradition's sake, Chapter 6.
If you're a child and you're told that there's maybe toy stores, and apparently, especially in this era, when toy stores actually exist, I would have been wicked excited. I would have probably been just as excited about because Andy just isn't like, all right, there's 2 toy stores that we can go to. That's how big this town is, 1 and 2. And neither one's a KB. But there's
Toys R Us and Toys Is Them. And we can go to Toys Is Them because that's honestly, a smaller one.
Andy's favorite. And this is how Andy started becoming my favorite character. She's like, I prefer the old toy store that sells crap. Let's go there first. And I know, Trav, you're just like thumbs up on that one.
That's where, honestly, you described it well. That's when she turned the corner for me, too. I was like, no, I got her wrong. I got her all wrong. She thinks popular things are stupid. She's into the niche, and that I can dig. So she also drops that she's looking for a gift for her cousin's birthday. Gives them a little more reason to go to these stores, which, by the way, never comes up again. I don't know when this cousin's birthday is. I don't know who this cousin is. I don't know when this cousin was ever born or what they got for their birthday. But that detail is in there. So they go to Andy's favorite old toy store, and this is a part that I like, Dylan. Evan wants to know. Yes, Evan wanted to know if the store had any Nintendo games. And Andy goes up. She asks the owner, who's a curmudgeon old bastard. I don't know why. It kind of reminds me of. I feel like there's some horror movie, Dylan, you'd probably know, where a toy store is ran by a curmudgeon old man. Could it have been Chucky? Is there a curmudgeon that runs the doll store in Chucky? I can't remember, but I had flashbacks.
There's a crabby old man that runs the company that makes Chucky in the 3rd movie. But he's not running a toy store. He's running a toy manufacturing business.
You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the bookstore owner in The Neverending Story. That's who I imagined running this store. In this here book, Andy asks if they have Nintendo games. He says, "Nah, we don't got any Nintendo games."
I bet you they had
frown on my face.
Though. Bet you they had effect.
They probably did. And these kids didn't appreciate it. These friggin' 90s kids did not appreciate that 70s good stuff. That's okay.
Vectrex is not 70s. Listen.
Okay, 1982 is the Vectrex.
I was also looking to see if they called them Nintendo games or if there was like Nintendo tapes. There's that crowd that went Nintendo, but no, it's just Nintendo games. So there's no archaeology to be done there etymologically speaking.
Oh, thank you for looking. Yes, I appreciate it.
But then he finds the storage room. And as a small child, I would not have on purpose gone into a storage room that I thought I should not go into. Because I didn't like to break the rules as a child or an adult.
Same. I would have ogled deeply into the room, but I would not have set foot.
I would have started like doing that kind of like, oh, I just happened to be slowly getting, like, I wouldn't walk in
my
there bold as
marble
life.
rolled all the way over here.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
better go get my marble.
I dropped my chain wallet.
Somehow. Why was it?
The whole
long
purpose of a chain wallet is not to be dropped. But among these especially old toys, and it's not even like toys that are saleable. He talks about like baseball gloves that are barely holding together, and this is not stuff that is going to move or has moved. Why the vendor doesn't just throw them away is a whole other thing, but we'll find out later.
Yeah, why are they in here?
Mr. Wagner did not know how to run a toy store properly, but he finds a can of a blue can of Monster Blood. And
yeah,
he says it's super heavy. Like the can's actually metal. It's not like a plastic cans that you get like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ooze or the GAC or Ghostbusters slime or toy slime was big in my house. Unfortunately,
dude, I was never allowed to have a toy that had that, so I was denied the slime, which might be why I longed so much to read about Monster Blood. What were the kids getting into? Tell me about that goopity goop.
I feel like
never had a chance.
If you and I had been friends, you would have been Andy and I would have been Evan, where Evan the whole time she's like, oh, it glows in the dark. And Andy's like, it bounces too. It's like, they all bounce. Have you not had putty? Like, Evan is just...
Yeah.
He's
so over Gak. Yeah.
But he's the one who wants to buy
kid.
it, is the funnier thing. He's the one who's like,
I know, he's like an enthusiast. Yeah, he's like, oh, this is not up to my standards for goopity Gak. And on the can itself, it says, he doesn't know. Yeah, and then the can itself calls it a surprising miracle substance. I don't know. Might be too good to be true. A surprising miracle substance? Come on. Evan has $10 his mom gave him, and I tell you what, that might be enough. That might be enough. We'll have to see. But the owner sees him in this room and bellows, "Hey, what are you doing in there? Dun, dun, dun!"
Bring him back. Stay out of the basement. And this is another cliffhanger that rapidly deflates because he realizes very quickly that Evan does the smart thing. He's like, "Hey, how much is this?" And then the owner backs off immediately on the stop your trespassing. He's like, "Oh, you can't buy that. That's not for sale." And then begins the haggling that Evan's not aware of, because clearly this is just a master haggler at his craft, who also wants to avoid any liability later when he's just, "No, too old, can't sell it to you, might kill for you under, oh, $2, well then that's another thing, here you go, sir, don't bring it back, we're going to be closed for business." But it does feel like an extended haggling venture between the three, because even Andy gets in the act. She comes over, she's like, "Oh, that's where's another?" The whole time she's like, "Where's another can? I need another can." Like she's knocking stuff off the shelves.
She pulls the swindle. Yeah, it's the old swindle. Like, "Well, can I have one too?" And he's like, whoa, okay, $2. Why don't you guys share this for $2? All right, get out of my store. Curmudgeon old bastard. But then they buy it. They're all excited. And Evan says Andy can come over to Aunt Catherine's to check it out. Now, I don't know, Dylan. I think with my experience there at Aunt Catherine's, and maybe it's because Trigger's there, but I'd be like, can we just go back to your place and look at this stuff? I don't really want to go hang out with Aunt Catherine in my goop. You know?
No. You want to go back to Aunt Catherine's house. Probably because she can't hear anything. And so, like, if the monster blood makes a noise, I don't know. But yeah, but I think, too, like, Andy was kind of curious about the Aunt Catherine situation. She wasn't quite as bad as Diane and Diane's nosiness about the basement. But she's like, Aunt Catherine sounds like she might be a little more interesting than Evan thinks. Let's go check out the study and everything. Because when she gets in the study, he's pretty excited, but we're not there yet. But so they get to Aunt Catherine's, and they can hear Aunt Catherine talking. But who?
Yeah.
You know what?
Who's she talking to? She can't. It's not like she can use the phone.
Listen, you know how crazy some people can get when they're alone with their I was about to say parrots. Wow. Just almost told on myself right there. No, I did. I 100% did. When people are all alone with their pets, and I just start talking to them all the time, and like obviously that's what's going on with Aunt Catherine. Like she's just talking to that crazy cat. You know how cats are. They talk. She talks back. It's great. But what's weird is like Aunt Catherine's like, "Hey, what you got there?"
Yeah, what you got in your hand there?
Hey, mister. Give me that.
Yeah.
Is that a can of the Monster Blood from the old country?
And she takes the can and kind of frowns and like, tells Evan to be careful with it. And she might have even done a little bit more with the can. We're not sure.
Yeah, she's kind of... It seems like maybe she's reading over the can or something. Like she's reading the label, but she's moving her lips while she does it. It's whatever.
Yeah. Well, some active reading. So anyway, Andy and Evan are like, let's just go up to our room and check out this friggin' can of goop. And they can't seem to figure out how to open this can at first. And so they fumble with it for a little bit, and then they just plop it on the desk and pop.
I'm guessing it's like one of those Pillsbury, biscuit cans or whatever.
Mm-hmm. How do you get that? You got to twist them, and then it's always a surprise.
And it explodes green goos everywhere, and
the lid pops off. Then they peer inside, and bum bum bum.
Honestly, this is a pretty big cliffhanger if you ever bought old toy slime before, because that stuff doesn't last for anything. It's just going to be dried up old husk. So there's no way. But Evan struck. Like, if he had lived 15 years later, he'd be selling this on eBay, making like unopened can of Monster Blood, untouched, sealed, great.
Oh, dude, great
hit TV
sealed
show.
Monster Blood. Man, that'd be going for what, $40-$45 right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's your typical slime.
It's green gelatinous goo. Cold to the touch, glows in the dark. Exactly what I wanted it to do.
Bounces, stretches, stains the walls. And that order is how kids play with the slime before it has to go back in the container, which is, oh my God, Mom, look, it stretches, it glows in the dark, it bounces, throw against wall, stain on wall, back in the can. And then you have to play with it only when no one is around, and then you do the things that you're not supposed to do, which is drop it on the carpet so it's covered in pet hair for the rest of its life. And that's when it goes in the trash.
Wow, you do have a lot of experience. I would have loved to be your friend and played with your gack. I didn't get any gack at my house.
I mean, they still make toy slime. You know what? Secret Santa this year, you're getting...
Give me some slime, brother.
6-gallon jugs of slime. You'll never know who it's from.
Well, Evan, as you alluded to earlier, a bit of a slime aficionado, not impressed with this stuff. He's had some of that green gack before. He's watched Nickelodeon. He's not impressed. He's like, they all do the same stuff. Which, by the way, if they all do the same stuff, you just paid $2 for some fresh green gack business.
I think
be happy with what you got.
I think he was looking for something more, like not
I guess
gack was a little different from slime, but like Floam. Did you ever play? It was little styrofoam balls mixed with the slime, so it made like. See, that's what Evan really was looking for. That was in his imagination. But then
that's what he wanted.
As a child, I was never a big fan of throwing slime. I don't know what R.L. Stein's children were doing with toy slime, but like he's got them playing outside. And again, you don't want to play with slime outside because it is going to like get filthy, and there's really no way to clean it. But they're just playing catch, and then. Once again, a child with a terrible toss creates a very bad problem. Like, in the last book, it was like we revealed that Dad has leaves for head. In this book, Evan's tossing that ball, goes right over the head of Andy. She can't get her glove on it, goes behind her, lands right at Trigger's feet, and Trigger's a dog, so he eats it. I'm sorry, I should have built suspense between that and that, but like he just straight up, he's a dog. What's he gonna do? So
there was no second of the dog waiting for suspense. The dog saw it rolling, he put it in his mouth, he ate it, and the funny thing is Andy's like, "Aw, dang man, now there's not enough left to share between the two of us." Ugh. And Evan is like, I think my dog is poisoned, so why don't you chill about how much goopity goop you're going to get out of this. I might be dealing with a sick dog.
Unless we pump this dog's stomach and get that goopity goop back out for you.
That's right. But will Trigger be poisoned?
We do a time skip, I guess, just to find out. Once again, we got a phone call from Mom with bad news.
Oh, Mom, how's it going down there in Hotlanta? Did you and Dad catch some Braves games and meet Ted Turner and forget you had a son? Stay with Aunt Catherine. It's hell here. Let me out.
Well, unfortunately, Aunt Eleanor didn't do so well. Oh, sorry. Wrong.
Wait, different aunt.
Wrong aunt. They're not right. They're looking for the house because repositioning during August. of all
Transferred.
months. Yeah, transferred. Just woof.
Terrible
But
month for transfers.
the problem is, Aunt Catherine, she didn't start off normal. Let's be honest. She opened the door holding a butcher's knife, but she's gotten worse since then. Things have
Right.
developed. She's just
She holds 2 knives now. She's
Both
up
of
to
them
knife
covered with
count.
different kinds of blood. One clearly not beef. Just beef. But
It's what's for dinner.
he finally gets the idea to, like, you know what? I'm gonna hang out at Andy's place because Andy, she doesn't have Aunt Catherine. Let's go Trigger out. So Trigger's no. I'm gonna stay here. Not because of any lingering problems from eating slime. I'm just a lazy old dog. Evan's like, forget yourself. I'm gonna go on, and nothing can possibly happen to me between this house here, right here, and this house over here, which is Andy's. So he takes off down the road by himself, and
I do like how in that chapter he's not like, hey buddy, is it because you ate a bunch of mysterious goo that I bought? And he's just like, you lazy old dog. And it's like the first thing that would pop in my head is like, my dog ain't acting right. Might have been the thing I didn't want him to eat. And to beat all else, on that phone call, Mom tells Evan, you might have to stay there a few more days with Aunt Catherine. So now it's like, stress after stress.
And it's not even that he can't take the dog to the vet, because he takes the dog to the vet later. It's not even a sense of like Evan doesn't have the means or ability to get that dog into a vet's office. It's not a problem yet. Like, he's not foaming at the mouth. We're good. But
we're good.
But then unfortunately, while there is no crappy younger brother and there's no Diane, we do have a couple of Utes that are going to cause some trouble for our protagonist here.
Yeah, and it's an encounter I'm actually going to read here. So he was halfway down the next block. You know, he's on his way to Andy's house, skipping to his loo. Actually, it says it's described here as he's walking slowly. So skipping to a very low tempo loo, and thinking about his parents so far away in Atlanta, when a boy's voice called out, "Hey, you!" And 2 boys stepped onto the sidewalk in front of him, blocking his way. Startled, Evan stared from one boy to the other. They were twins, identical twins. Both were big, beefy guys with short, white blonde hair and round red faces. They were both wearing dark T-shirts with the names of heavy metal bands on the front, baggy shorts, and high-top sneakers untied without socks. Evan guessed they were about 14 or 15. "Who are you?" one of them asked menacingly, narrowing his pale gray eyes, trying to act tough. Both twins moved closer, forcing Evan to take a step back. These guys are twice my size, Evan realized, feeling a wave of fear sweep over him. Are they just acting tough, or do they really mean to give me trouble? I'm staying with my aunt, he stammered, shoving his hands into his pockets and taking another step back. The twins flashed each other quick grins. "You can't walk on this block," one of them said. "Yeah, you're not a resident," the other kid added, which I think's funny. "Yeah, you're not a resident. You don't vote here, okay?" I just think that you don't pay the taxes.
I'm surprised you didn't go even deeper on that redneck for these 2 boys are clearly from Georgia. Like, they're there to give this Evan a little taste of what troublemakers back home are gonna like. Heavy metal. Well, it'd be like Leonard Skinner or something, or
yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like early '90s, like I could see a couple redneck kids with like Iron Maiden or Metallica.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I gotta have a redneck kid in every episode for sure.
And I got
so
2 of them.
I should. I know I should go back, but what I think's funny is that's how I dressed as a kid, and I was definitely not a bully. So it's like, I just thought that was interesting. Like, wait, I would have never done this.
I feel like R.L. Stine is like picking up on things that he doesn't like about his children's friends. He's just like, those smelly-footed little boys. They're getting in the book forever.
Well, they're threatened by these twins. Dum, dum, dum! Chapter 10. The twin boys tell him that he has to pay a toll. We've all dealt with the bullies that want you to pay a toll before you can go through.
Sure.
And then they go to rough him up. But then our savior, Andy, she rides up on her bike. Turns out these boys actually know Andy. And she tells them to stop. Get on out of here, you idiots. But they shove her off of her bike. And then one of them takes her bike and they leave.
No.
Their names are Rick and Tony Bamer.
No, back it up. They don't just knock her. R.L. Stine describes her hitting her head on the curb. Like, she takes a dive and hits her head and, like, she's, like, out for a second. That's when he describes in, like, murder almost happened here, my friend.
Yeah, it's like a scene from American History X. It is tough.
Okay, not that far. Like, not that far. Pull it back. Pull it back a little bit.
It's close, though. It's close.
It is close.
I thought she'd lose teeth on it.
And it also involves a curb, I guess, in both instances.
Yeah. That was what triggered me there. Oh, trigger. What have we done?
So they run off with her bike, and Evan is a little more worried about this than she is the whole time. Andy's like, it's fine. They do this all the time. They play with it. They'll ditch it somewhere. Like, they're basically wild children who are raised by their grandmother. There's nothing we can do. Like, and Evan finally just drops it. But he's got his little, like, oh man, if I ever see him, I'll get him up in the corner and I'll do a little 1-2 and get him down and I'll take care of those twins. That doesn't happen later, we find out, but still. So Evan gets back home. The first thing he decides to do, as any 12-year-old boy would do if he's in this situation, is check on that can of Monster Blood. See how much is left in there. Maybe there's enough to still play with. And it's almost full. In fact, is full.
What?
He's like,
doesn't make any sense.
That's weird.
Pretty sure some of it's in the dog.
Yeah, because, maybe Trigger didn't eat as much. He's like, oh, Trigger! And, like, it just...
Trigger.
He's like, probably should have checked on the dog for this can of Monster Blood. But so then he books it out back because I think he either looks out the window or he hears Trigger's, like, in distress, and he books it, and Trigger is making, like, a lot of ruckus. Like, it's actually pretty awful. This is, like, one of the more awful scenes.
Allow me to read it. Let's read the words. It says, I guess Trigger didn't eat that much, he thought, feeling a little relieved. Trigger! Which, as Dylan and I presumed, he would have said, oh, shit! Trigger! He had forgotten all about him. The poor dog must be hungry. Putting down the Monster Blood, Evan bombed down the stairs, leaning against the banister and taking the stairs 3 at a time, which I still do, by the way. I love going downstairs as fast as possible. And then it goes on to say, then running full out, he practically flew to the dog in the backyard. Trigger! Hey, Trigger! He called. Halfway across the backyard, Evan could see something was wrong. Trigger's eyes were bulging. His mouth was wide open, his tongue flailing rapidly from side to side, white spittle running down his chin hair onto the ground. Trigger! The dog was gasping hoarsely, each breath a desperate, difficult struggle. He's choking, Evan realized. As Evan reached the dog run, Trigger's eyes rolled back, and the dog's legs collapsed under him, his stomach still heaving, the air filled with his loud, hideous gasps. Dum, dum, dum!
So this one actually is a cliffhanger. Like a proper one. Like you actually have a situation that warrants drama as opposed to a hand on the shoulder. Or like, this is like the first real cliffhanger, I feel like, in the book where danger is present. But, so like, Evan actually gets there. He's trying to figure out what's going on with Trigger. Figures out the collar's too tight, like it's like must have shrunk or something. He's trying to get it off, and he's able to finally like get the collar off of his poor Trigger, and he's like, "What?
Oh, thank God!
Did it shrink?" And he's like, "No, it can't shrink. It's leather. Like leather doesn't shrink. you don't have to bring in the cows from the ring because they'll shrink overnight. Like that's crazy talk. Like leather doesn't.
That's
shrink."
right. Good point. Good observation.
So Trigger's okay, but. What's going on with this dog? What?
Yeah, he's a little thirsty, but he seems fine. That was scary. Jeez Louise. Anyway, maybe I'll go visit Andy. He seems to brush things off. He bounces back pretty quick. He's like, I'll go visit Andy. And he finds her trying to... Everybody's having pet problems out here. She's trying to free a cat that the Bamer twins tied to a tree. Gosh dang Bamer twins. By the way, the Bamer twins, that's Rick and Tony Bamer. They were the bullies from earlier. And you know what? Evan's had enough. He's like, we've got to do something about these guys. You know? They bullied me on the sidewalk. They pushed you off your bike, Andy. They're out here torturing cats. And we got to do something. And Andy's like... You know, they would deny it to the cops or the ASPCA. You know, who are we going to call? They're just going to deny everything. There's no proof. And so they go back to Aunt Catherine's to devise a plot. They're like, nah. We got to get back at these fools. Let's go back to Aunt Kay's. Come up with a plan. Let's get some revengeance. Revengeance or vengeance? Either way.
Both. At the same time.
Both? Let's do it.
But now, like, of course, the first thing any child needs to do when they go back to Aunt Catherine's house is check on the monster blood. That is number one on the list. Check on the monster blood, check on the dog. 1, 2.
Yep.
And
1 and 2.
It's opened the can itself. So clearly something's a little haywire. But
what would you have thought? I would have thought maybe
it's spoiled.
Maybe it's gotten too hot.
Something
or
like
something,
that.
or too like something has made it expand. I think it still would be explainable at this point.
Yeah, like Evan even says like maybe something happened when we opened up the can, and that's kind of what I would think too. Like maybe it like spoiled or whatever happens, like it was too old and it's just chemical reaction or something like.
Yeah, like have you ever tried to get a tent back into the bag you got the tent from, and you're like, "There's no really way
good. I'll,
this came out of here."
You know, I'll recommend a tent for you because we have one that you just
goes right back in.
Yeah.
But, well, you know, there's tons of examples of
I've
things.
also never seen a ghost, too, so, you know, there's that.
There's tons of things that have come out of their receptacle and not have fitting back in properly. Maybe that's...
I can show you one right now, my friend.
Hey-o, bud. Hey-o there. Jeez Louise there.
I need a dun-dun-dun,
well, it's raising the lid on the can. Yeah, it's raising the lid on the can. There we
go.
Chapter 12.
And honestly, I think the dun-dun-dun should have been earlier when they're like, oh, or later when they're just like, oh, let's take it out of the can. It's warm and sticky, and it doesn't bounce. It kind of splots.
Yeah, like it gave up.
And it doesn't even glow anymore. It's just like, but it's glowing.
That's the part that bothered me. What would make it not glow suddenly? So it's just not fun anymore. Let's throw it away.
But they still want to play with it. Because they're children.
I mean, why not?
We paid $2 for this. So they're just like, you know what? Let's just rub this all over on each other and throw it at things. Like,
there's nothing else to do. We couldn't buy Nintendo games. We're in a room surrounded by a bunch of books.
I will say this.
Toss this around.
I won't. If I was their age, I wouldn't just. Oh no, it's warm and growing. Yeah, let's throw it away because now it's 5 times more fun. Like it changes. Like this is even more exciting.
Yeah,
limitless. But then Trigger's barking again, and they're like, I guess we have to check on the living animal and stop playing with our toy. But it's too big for the can now, so they find a coffee can and they stuff it in there, and they're just like, this isn't concerning at all. And they look out the window and they see that Trigger is he's a little bigger now. Noticeably bigger.
Yeah,
Not just like his collar's not fitting, but he's almost twice his size. And that's big. That's a big dog. Like that would probably bring his Cocker Spaniel up to something a little bit more along like a Golden Retriever size, or like a...
Yeah. Did a local zoo horse get loose? Did a farm burn down and some animals come on out this way? Is it a dog? Dum dum dum.
But
Chapter 13, Dylan, as is tradition. This one's all yours.
So Trigger got loose. Like we don't see that part because, like, obviously he's a big dog. Probably busts through that fence and he's like down the street. Sure. Like, boom. He's going like a racehorse or a big dog. And so like Evan's chasing him now too. He's just like, I gotta get my dog before he eats everybody. Because like Trigger isn't like just twice his size now. He's like exponentially getting bigger. He talks about like running down this night street and you hear like the sound of his paws on the street. There's just this thunderous sound of dog paws on the street. And then he sees like, oh no, the twins they're about to get eaten by Trigger. And they're running as fast as they can, but they're fat little kids and they don't have socks on and they can't run very fast anyway. And then you've got Trigger coming down on them. But then Trigger starts like howling, but it's not like a dog's howl. It's the howl of a monster, a terrible thing. And the twins are like, it's a monster. And Evan's like, it's a terrifying monster. And Evan wakes up. It was a dream. Trigger's not massive. He's bigger. But at least he's not trying to kill the twins. And he looks down and he sees that he's uncomfortable. Like he feels like he doesn't fit on his cot. But it's not a comfortable bed anyway. It's a cot. But then he notices like he's huge. Like his feet are sticking off the ends of the bed, and his hands are big, and he's like this giant now. And Aunt Catherine's study, and he's oh, and then it's another dream. So he wakes up again. So there was a dream and a dream and a dream.
Oh yeah, dum dum dum.
But now he's awake and he's normal size, and he's safely in chapter 14.
Oh, got me there, R.L. Stine. Dream in a dream? Dreamception. Friggin' got me.
And the dream also followed narratively from what we'd seen in reality. So, he sucked you in a little bit more sneakily than before.
He did. He certainly did. Evan looks outside there. He sees Trigger. He's like, oh, thank God. Whew. He's not a monster. He's definitely a little bit bigger. That's probably still a problem. Maybe I should go see a vet. I'll do that tomorrow. I just woke up today. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll wait a whole day while my dog is the size of a small pony to have it looked at.
Maybe he woke up in the middle of the night, and so when he's saying tomorrow, he means when I wake up.
Oh, maybe.
For realsy at 7 a.m. Or maybe he needs to worry about the monster blood for an extra couple days before he worries about Trigger. I don't know. But
you're right. Either way, something catches his eye. Yeah, something catches his eye across the room, and I think if I remember right, he's got this, the monster blood, he kind of keeps it in the top shelf of the closet that he can see from the bed. And the coffee can, you remember they put it into a bigger receptacle, they put it into a coffee can, which as we know, bigger can, bubbling over with that monster blood, the old MB. Uh-oh, now it's outgrown the coffee can, something is definitely up. Ba ba ba! Chapter 15. And we've taken Trigger finally to the vet. Oh, thank God, we've sought some medical help for this poor dog who is the size of a Shetland pony. And the vet's like, dude, this looks like a pretty good dog. I mean, it's kind of a supersized Cocker Spaniel, probably needs less snacks. You know how snacks makes your bones bigger, too? It's just that. It's just snacks for bones that you're giving him. Stop giving him bone snacks. The vet's like, you know what? I'll do you a big favor, kid. I'll run you a lab report. I'll get the lab to look at some stuff. That's going to take a few days to process. So why don't you take, you and your giant dumb dog, get on out of here. Evan's like, that doesn't seem like a medical diagnosis of any sort, but whatever. You know what? I'm going to get some ice cream to cheer myself up. I'm going to tie Trigger to a fire hydrant. Since he is now the size of a small horse, that's a perfect place to tie him. I'll go on inside and get some Neapolitan.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's forgotten about one thing.
Two things, technically.
Oh, yeah, technically. The twins. So he comes back out with his ice cream, and he sees the twins untying Trigger, because just no jerk-like behavior is too jerky for them. So Evan sees them trying to untie Trigger, and he's like, I'm going to go stop them, even though clearly I'm physically unmatched, as we noticed earlier when, Andy had to ride up, and she didn't even save him. Like, they stole her bike. So
she got punked.
They knocked the ice cream out of his hand, and like, listen, buddy, we don't have to stop doing any of this. We're bullies, yada, yada, yada. But Trigger's done with this bullshit. Like, he's tired. He's big. And he hates these kids. So he jumps up and straight up attacks Rick. Knocks him down on the ground. Tony books it. Leaves his brother to die, as far as he knows. And Rick he finally manages to shake off Trigger, because Trigger is still a 12-year-old Cocker Spaniel, no matter how big he is. And he books it. But Evan's just like, goes to grab Trigger's leash, and he also misses Trigger's leash, and Trigger
Swing and
goes
a
off
miss.
just like a rocket after those twins.
Ugh. Yeah, and Trigger chasing a squirrel earlier. A very spry dog for a 12-year-old dog. I got to hand it to him. But what this is reminiscent of to me, Dylan, sounds like that dream where that giant dog pony was chasing two twin boys that were up to no good. Oh my gosh, is the dream going to come true? Which would mean that Evan would also become giant. Dab, dab, dab!
I think not until like the third book, actually.
I don't know. Spoiler alert there, folks. But we learned that Evan, he catches up to Trigger, and the twins had vanished. They'd had enough. They were running for their lives from this very cute horse with dangly ears. And Evan, this is back in the day when you used to call your friends on a phone that was in someone's house. Evan goes and he calls Andy to see if he's like, "Can I come over to your place? I have a very big problem."
And he's Evan's a bit of a kidder, so he's actually speaking literally when he says he has a big problem. The monster blood is now fills a bucket, and they're starting to think, you know what? Let's do some mathematics here. One, we have a dog who's a little big. We've got 2, some monster blood that's growing larger on its own, and 3, we have the first thing ate the second thing at a certain point. Maybe those things are connected. But Evan's not a big fan of causality. He knows that sometimes jumping to conclusions, assuming causality leads you in the wrong direction. So you're like, you know what? We can't call any grown-ups because, as you know, no one's going to believe this, even though they do have a growing dog.
Yeah, it seems like they have some evidence. Yeah, right? Yeah.
And, maybe don't just jump straight to calling the cops. Andy's dad seems to have it together. He has a nice hedgerow in their front yard, so that's a sign that he's got his stuff together. But he doesn't want to throw it away because he's like, if I throw it away, it's just going to fill the garbage can. That's not really taking care of the problem.
Yeah.
So his next solution is even less sensical. He's like, if we cut it into pieces, I'm sure that'll solve the problem. So Andy, you take just a sack full, just a whole coffee can full. But it starts to eat the coffee can, which is concerning.
It's weird. It makes like I don't know, it's just sucking the can into the bucket. Just whatever noise that comes across there during this recording, that's exactly what it was supposed to sound like.
I mean, that's pretty accurate, I feel, personally.
Good. And you're right in that this plan is probably the worst they could have. It's like, if you move the big giant glop as it's growing to a bigger spot, I mean, it's not like you're going to stop it from growing anyway. Let it all grow in one spot. It's like, no, let's divide it up. That way it can grow and surround us later from different angles. Let's keep it in one spot. But they don't. They split it up. Andy gets a coffee can full. Evan keeps the bucket. And then, man, these friggin' Bamer twins, dude, they don't give up. On his way home after this incident with the coffee can being sucked into the monster blood, they step out of the bushes. They're ready for more action. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, he gets the shit beat out of him. It doesn't go well for Evan. To be fair, they're like, they're bigger boys.
Yeah, 14 or 15.
There's
He's
12.
There's 2 of them.
They probably have some weird psychic connection because they're twins, so they're probably anticipating each other's actions, They
got that twin action. Yeah.
But and Andy doesn't really save the day, but she does pick up the pieces after the twins have left Evan in the dust. And she's getting him his feet. They're scooping up the monster blood back in
Monster
his bucket.
You put your balls in his mouth. Monster bucket. Milton Bradley. Also an MB. 2 MBs.
2 MBs. Lots of MBs. But even that they notice again, like, the bucket's already full again. Like, giving it to Andy didn't help. So they come up with the perfect solution in modern America, which is take it back to the store, brother. Like,
yeah.
this product is not working as advertised. We're going to go to the store tomorrow, get our $2 back. And this guy's got like way more Monster Blood. It's a win-win situation for everybody.
It reminds me of that Jeff Foxworthy bit where he talks about how you can return anything to Walmart. He's like, these diapers already got shit in them. It's it's just like that, except they're taking a now very growing gelatinous thing back to where they got it from, and it doesn't even fit into the original can.
That's actually how I got my PS2 repaired. Was I just took back a PS2 that's broken right out of the box to Walmart and said, yeah, I bought this here. Can you give me a new one? I was like, here you go.
Wow, look at you go. Man.
I got it from a raffle. Did not get it from a Walmart.
Good work. Good work by you. Nice swindle. Very good job. Andy's like, yeah, tomorrow we'll take it on back to that store. We'll go back. What did I say it was? Toys R Them.
Yeah, Toys R Them. Mr. Wagner is the surly store clerk. But
so until then, Evan's got to find a place big enough to hide this big old blobby mess. He can't let Aunt Catherine see this stuff at this point. He's just gonna have to hide it from her. But he's not able to hide his swollen cheek that the Bamer twins handed over to him when he got in that fight earlier. But you know what I appreciate about Aunt Catherine? Now, you might see this as maybe she doesn't care about Evan, but I think she kind of just respects his business. She's like, you know what? I see him here with his swollen cheek. He's had a tough day. I don't want to call him out, make him feel bad. I'll just let him go deal with it, go upstairs. Maybe in the morning, I'll come and see how he's doing. So I respect that. I mean, unless he had a concussion, he died in his sleep, that'd be bad. But I think she's just trying to stay out of his business.
No, I think Aunt Catherine is definitely like one of those people who's like, listen, we got to fight today. You need my help? You let me know. But until then, you take care of yourself, right?
I like how sometimes she trains boxers in Philadelphia, like you make her sound, and sometimes she just makes beef. But either way,
she likes beef.
She does like beef. That's going to take us right into chapter 18, and the next couple chapters here are super duper quick. But chapter 18 kicks off, and Evan's going to go down in the basement because he's got to find something to hold all this friggin' monster blood that he has.
But, you know, he finds an old bathtub, which hopefully is not connected to any plumbing, because, like, that's a situation you don't want to have, like that stuff getting down into the sewers. I don't know if you saw the remake of The Blob, but woo!
Yeah.
So he gets to that bathtub, dumps in the bucket. He's feeling pretty good about himself. Problem solved. Evan is a big fan of passing the buck until it can't be passed anymore.
Yeah, or
and he
passing the bucket.
This a job. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, or passing the bucket. Yeah.
Luckily for all of us, Sarah Beth attacks him and knocks him straight into the tub.
Oh, the cat is back.
She jumps on his back. He falls into that tub, and he's like, I mean, this is almost like not enough time for a bum bum bum, but this is a bum bum bum.
Yeah, it's a quick bum 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 bum.
And now we're in chapter 19. And it's worse. Like, the cliffhanger has only gotten worse, because now the monster blood's pulling him down, sucking him down.
Like that coffee can.
Up, and he thinks he's drowning in slime.
Ugh.
I'm going to need another bum bum bum.
I'm sorry. We're already to the bum bum bum.
He's struggling, pulling himself free from this tub. I wish the audience could see my action. I'm just acting everything out, just struggling out of this tub with Evan. And he sees Sarah Beth staring at him with satisfaction. And honestly, if you've ever owned a cat, there's nothing suspicious about that. Cats do that shit all the time.
They just always look at you like they were either hoping you were dead or surprised that you weren't when you walk into the room. They're like, oh, you're still here. Great.
Yeah.
So, Sarah Beth, she was the one that knocked him in there. Now, Dylan, is this just a case of a cat getting territorial? Maybe down there's where the old litter box is. Maybe that's where she's down there hunting for mice, and this goon comes downstairs with his big bucket of blobbiness, and she just takes it upon herself to defend her territory? Or do you think there's something else going on with this kitty cat?
No, it's just a cat thing.
You think it's just a cat thing, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
But he goes upstairs next morning at breakfast. Aunt Catherine's like, you look like something the cat dragged in. I'm going to keep trying to do that. I've lost it so far. But you look like something the cat dragged in, which seems a little on the nose on Catherine. I feel like she knows something. But Evan finally gets the idea to write a note. Yes. I don't know why it took him this long.
I know.
write a note to
like
Aunt Catherine.
she can read, Evan. Come on. I don't know. It feels like he's been here for a month already, but like even if it was 2 days, he should have already written his Aunt Catherine a note. He had not though. She greets him. She says, "Well, well," and for some reason I'm giving her like an old Yoda. So I'm going to stick with that. Well, well, Catherine greeted him, placing a bowl of shredded wheat in front of him. You certainly look like something the cat dragged in. She laughed, shaking her head. Don't mention cat to me, Evan muttered. He shoved the bowl of cereal aside and pointed to the pad in his hand. Don't let your cereal get soggy, Catherine scolded, reaching to push the bowl back to him. You get more of the vitamins that way, and it's good roughage. I don't care about your stupid roughage, Evan said moodily, knowing she couldn't hear him. He pointed to the pad again and then began to write, scribbling quickly in big black letters. His writing caught her interest. She moved around the table and stood behind him, her eyes on the pad as he wrote his desperate message. I have a problem, he wrote. I need your help. The bathtub downstairs is overflowing with green monster blood, and I can't stop it. He put down the marker and held the pad up to her face. Now, if you were Aunt Catherine, sweet, sweet Aunt Catherine, AK-47 as I call her, when you read that, are you thinking, oh, this little boy, he's a goofing around? Or do you think, oh no, there's a big old blop of monster blood down in the basement and the cat tried to kill him? I mean, come on.
He didn't do the best job of getting his point across here. I don't think
sure
I can.
Did.
I feel like a sports announcer talking about, like, I can't really fault Aunt Catherine here because Evan comes up with this weak strategy, tries to get the end zone around her, and it's just not working out for him. And Aunt Catherine sees him, and she just blocks him right there.
Blocks.
Just slams him to the ground. Lets him know with a gentle laugh that he's just a fooler. He's just a kid.
Yep.
But then it gets a little like she laughs him off at first, and then she grabs him by the ear, and she's like, "I told you to be careful." And it's just like that seems a little like we've got two different things going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, and she makes sure to get up like in his face too to tell him this. And so, Evan, as he always does when he's a little out of sorts, he calls Andy. They decide they're going to meet down at the toy store. They're going to do this. They're going to take this back to the curmudgeonly old toy store owner. And so they got to scoop up this monster blood. They have to put it in plastic lawn bags. And can you imagine, like plastic lawn bags, especially for like leaves and stuff, that's like 30-gallon bags. That's heavy, no matter what's in there. If it's not leaves, if it's like even Jell-O, that's a lot. That's heavy. So they got to drag these bags. There's no way you're dragging those bags down the sidewalk without them popping anyway. But they get it all down there. They go blocks.
I'm gonna say that they didn't fill the bags all the way. Maybe like they filled them up. I'm gonna give them a pass on this one. This is in a tree. This is like maybe they just filled up these bags halfway each, and then like
split it,
hefting them over their shoulder.
I can appreciate that. Well, they do finally get to the store. You know, after they've dragged these bags of Jell-O out in the hot sun for, I'm going to say 4 miles. I'm going to say it's a 4-mile trip. Turns out, and this is a bit of a Wally World situation, gosh dang store's been boarded up. And a sign out front says, out of business. Dum, dum, dum. Chapter 21.
Thank you for leaving out the paragraph-long scene where some little old lady is like, "Oh yeah, went out of business," and just gives them the whole exposition about that. But they take the bags back to Catherine's, and they're just like, So dump it into the trash can, which you do see in the revised cover. The monster is coming out of that trash can.
Yeah.
For the new editions, But then, as they're dumping everything out there, Catherine comes out and she's received a telegram. And I've looked this up in the past. It was possible to send telegrams up until the late aughts in the 2000s.
Really?
So just yeah.
I was wondering about that because I was like, that's a weird thing to put in here. So telegram.
But she can't hear.
Yeah.
If she's gonna get something, it's got to be a telegram.
Ah, that's a good. Well, of course, yeah.
But it's the best news ever. And this is this is probably the best part of the book for me, because it's like he's so excited to go home. Mom's gonna be here this afternoon. He doesn't even have to wait till tomorrow. It's not this weekend. This afternoon, he's packing.
Yes.
The whole time, Andy's just like, we've got like a garbage can filled with monsters. And he's like, yeah, but
I'm
going
out
to
of
Atlanta.
here. Sounds like your problem
Bye.
now. I'm out. See you later. I get that too.
And,
I love leaving my problems on other people.
And he's just so there's not any part of him at any point that's like, yeah, I've no problem solved. And that kind of makes sense considering Evan's main solution this whole book has been, well, if I keep putting it in larger and larger containers, it'll be fine until I go home.
Right.
That was his end game.
Yep.
Whereas Andy is, this is where I live, so maybe we could like do something about it. Like they haven't even tried like fire, like
True.
anything. They haven't tried any way to dispatch it. They've literally just moved it from container to container.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But, so she's not able to convince Evan until, of course, Evan goes to get Trigger, because Trigger is actually the driving force of this book, and opens up Trigger's pen, and we've got to get another dun dun dun, because he gasps when he sees what is in Trigger's pen.
Dum dum dum!
It's probably just like in John Carpenter's The Thing, where they open the thing and the thing is in the dog kennel and it's killed all the dogs and there's just giant thing, ropey death. Oh no, it's just Trigger's really big.
He's just
But
big.
he's actually a pony-sized dog at this. We've been joking about it, but now he is a rideable
Right.
dog.
Yeah, before he was probably just a slightly bigger dog, but now you could saddle Trigger and really ride him into town, all 4 miles of the trip. And so the Pony Trigger runs out of the pen, and then Evan chases him. He's like, I gotta get my pony dog back. Runs into the metal can full of monster blood. The can topples over. Big crash. Ping, pyong. The monster blood pours out all over. It takes the shape of a ball. It turns in from a seeping ooze and actually forms into a ball. The ball seems to be aware and conscious and alive and alert and turns and comes toward Evan. Bum, bum, bum! Chapter 23. We're not done yet, folks. This is a 29-chapter book. It gets pretty crazy. The monster blood changed direction, still bouncing and quivering, and leaving white stains on the grass like enormous round footsteps. It's alive! Andy screamed, her hands pressed against her cheeks. Oh my God, it's alive! What can we do? What can we do? Evan didn't recognize his own terrified voice. It's catching up! Andy screamed, pulling him by the hand. Run! Gasping loudly, they made their way to the front of the house. Hey, what's happening? A voice called. Huh? Startled by the voice, Evan stopped short. He looked to the sidewalk to see the Bamer twins with matching grins on their beefy faces. A lot of beef in this story, Dylan. A lot of beef.
Well, they're the beefy Bamers. They're very beefy boys who...
Mm-hmm.
The Bamer twins meet the monster blood and are just absorbed. And what's haunting is they just watch the Bamers struggling within this thing until they stop moving. I'm assuming, and they sink, just their lifeless bodies sink back into the darkness. Like as they get further away from the surface, you just see these dark shapes at the center of the ball.
Right, like Leo did in the Titanic, just slowly float away.
Just
float
like
into
that.
the darkness.
Except it's two beefy boys staring at you.
Beefy boys. I want to say it bounces on a bird and catches a bird too at some point, and you're like, gosh dang, is there anything this thing won't suck in? But the ball, sucks them in. And Evan tells Andy, he's like, we should just leave. I think we're a part of a murder, I think. I'm not sure how the laws are going to draw this up, but we're complicit, I think. I'm not sure. But they go to split, and Aunt Catherine, she comes outside. She runs back in, but the ball enters the house after her.
You're supposed to dun dun dun.
Oh, sorry. Well, I was going to say it's the wrong place, wrong time for Aunt Catherine, because the next thing they hear is her blood curdling scream from inside the house. Dum, dum, dum. Chapter 24. That's her blood curdling scream.
Well, she's supposed to have a deep voice.
Man, she sounds like Rambo taking a shit.
That did happen in part 2. So, Andy and Evan are, I guess in their one moment of true bravery, run into this house to see, like, well, I guess we have to stick up for Aunt Catherine for some reason. Like, Evan seemed to be perfectly fine, but now that she's actually in danger, he's like, let's go save her.
It was the scream that did
So
it.
they go in, and they see her, like, backed up against the wall by this giant, massive blob, and she actually looks scared. There's a couple of times in the book where, like, Evan says, like, she looks old now. Like, most of the time she's like, ha ha ha, I'm unbeatable. Right. But there's a couple points where he's like, she looked her age, or she looked especially old. And I think this is one of those times. And she said, I made this thing, now I must die for it. And
bum, bum, bum.
There you go.
Evan.
But then, Evan, who's very average of intelligence, he starts putting all the clues together. Like, just like that one detective in that Kaiser Soze movie. He's just he's figuring all together.
Or just like Columbo always. Like, yeah.
Bone necklace, magic books, sinister black cat. Interest in the can, like she looked at it and she was mumbling over it.
Yeah.
And he accuse her of being a witch and having cursed this can of monster blood.
And of course she denies it. She's like, whoa, buddy, hey, gay. She doesn't talk like that, but
hey.
Of course she's like, no, that's not what happened. And the ball, currently the big ball of monster blood, is blocking Catherine's escape. It's getting closer. All that Evan and Andy can do really at this point is watch. They have no idea what's going to happen to Aunt Catherine. I mean, she denied being part of it, but it seems like she's about to get devoured by it. I don't know what to believe. Catherine, of course, says she didn't do it, but she points her
Evan's
finger.
Like, then who did?
Who did this?
Who did?
Aunt Catherine points her finger toward Andy and says, she did. Dum, dum, dum.
Now we've got like an R.L. Stine Mexican standoff of accusations, just like in Stay Out of the Basement, where you have Evans pointing a finger at Aunt Catherine. Aunt Catherine's pointing straight at Andy, and Andy's like, I don't know witchcraft. And then Andy is she holding Sarah Beth?
No,
or is like Sarah Beth just kind of chilling?
Sarah Beth's behind her.
They're just standing next to her.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, me? No.
It looks behind her, yeah.
It's Sarah Beth. And so Sarah Beth is just sitting there, but then Sarah Beth does some magic and changes, and she's a lady.
Turns right into
with cat eyes.
Yeah, turns into a young witch with cat eyes. Which I'm curious, Dylan, why do you think she transformed? Did she have to transform here? Why would she do that? Why wouldn't she just keep being like, I'm just a cat, and just run away and be like, no one would know?
All right, are you ready for this nonsense?
Please hit me with nonsense.
I can fill plot holes with I'm good. I have got a jar of spackle, and I'm just like filling
plot
up those holes in the wall.
Give me some plot hole spackle,
I've got
bud.
That tape with the that's just got the grids of lines. You've got that specially big hole in the
I love
the
that
drywall.
stuff.
You can just layer that. Yeah, it's great, man.
It's good. That's good stuff.
Great summer. But anyway, like I went so far on that analogy, I don't remember what I was talking about.
Why'd she turn into
really don't even know.
Why didn't she just stay a cat and let everyone think Aunt Catherine's crazy?
I'm spackling a plot hole. That's why I don't remember what I was saying. So I'm guessing the spell has a verbal component, and that's why. So Catherine had to do the spell, but Sarah Beth was just being the cat at the moment because she didn't want people to know when she was here. Let's not look too closely at why this situation has evolved. Let's just say that Catherine had to do the magic, and Sarah Beth is like didn't. But Sarah Beth has to be human in order to do magic herself. But being in cat form, she doesn't have to do it.
I understand now. Thank you for that. Well,
that's why Catherine read the spell to make the monster blood.
Right. Well, Catherine declares that her spell of imprisonment it's now broken. She's no longer under the hex that Sarah Beth had put on her, and she'll use this monster blood to escape. Sarah Beth, however, doesn't take kindly to that.
Yeah, she's just like, now you must all die.
Dum dum dum.
At this point, we still don't know who's on whose side right now. Is Aunt Catherine the mastermind? What's Sarah Beth doing here? Like, if only someone could explain what's happening. And at the beginning of the next chapter, Catherine's like, listen, you know I can talk. So let's sit down and listen to Aunt Catherine tell a couple of stories.
What did you just break?
I don't know. But we basically get the whole explanation of what, well, sort of. We're still not clear on some of the details here, but Aunt Catherine is like, Sarah Beth, she moved in about 20 years ago to be your aunt's new friend. And, but then things got a little hinky and a little bit weird, and so Sarah Beth wanted to be like some Oberspell witchcrafter thing, and then she took over my powers and made me deaf, so I couldn't reach out for help and wouldn't let me communicate with people. Sarah Beth's wicked evil. She's a cat, obviously. Yeah. I will continue taking jabs at cats until Trav cries.
It won't happen. It won't happen. It was Sarah Beth's wish to have no visitors in the home. She completely controlled Aunt Catherine, forced Catherine to put the spell on the can, and Evan's like, oh yeah, I do remember you mumbling stuff toward that can. That kind of makes sense. Sarah Beth says that Catherine, you sacrificing yourself to this monster blood, it's not going to be enough. The children know too much. Everyone's got to die here. Everyone, even the dog. Everybody's got to die. Sarah Beth then commands the blob to kill the children. Whoa.
And Andy and Evan, they're just like, all right, it's game time. We haven't come up with a single good plan this whole book.
Not a one.
But we're really up against a wall, so we're going to figure this out right now.
Dum, dum, dum.
You see me like raising my hand up. It's just, but no, Trigger saves the day. So Trigger comes just tearing through the room.
Heck yeah.
Knocks Sarah Beth into the blob because he knows a cat when he sees one and they need to die. Because Trigger actually has some deep-rooted psychological issues around cats.
I bet.
That he needs to work on. But once they knock Sarah Beth into the blob, things start happening. Because it looks like while Catherine cast the spell, Sarah Beth was actually where all the power was coming from.
That's what it seems like. Yeah.
Shrinking and gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and a couple of things start falling out of there, like twins, a bird,
the bird,
things that we might care about if they died. But as the monster blood shrinks, like all these things are falling out. The twins seem to be okay, even though we watched them drown 2 chapters ago. The bird seems fine. Everyone's fine, but there's no Sarah Beth.
Yeah,
the blob shrivels away to nothing. And Sarah Beth is gone.
Yeah, it shrinks all the way down to the size of a tennis ball, which would be the appropriate size if you do the math, considering that it got split up between the two of them, eaten by a dog, and stuck to the walls and carpets and whatnot. So the size of a tennis ball is left, and no Sarah Beth the cat. The evil cat is gone. The witch is gone. But now a shadowy figure, Dylan, has darkened the doorway. Well, we don't know where Sarah Beth went. Could have been her. We got eyes on Aunt Catherine. She's not darkening any doorways. Trigger's already burst in the room. Who's it going to be?
The twins are dead. I mean, they're okay.
They're resuscitating themselves on the floor somewhere. Bum, bum, bum. Who's darkening that doorway?
It's Compton Dawes. Telling Aunt Catherine that it's time.
I've come back for my hat. No, it's Mom.
Right.
It's sweet, sweet Mom. And Catherine just tells her, like, hey, come to the kitchen. I got a story to share with you. And that's that.
You have done a different voice for Aunt Catherine.
I know.
Every single time.
I figured
so have I.
When she's no longer under the hex, she really does turn into Blanche Devereaux.
No, she is even... Are you sure it's not Blanche Dubois?
I don't know. I don't know which one.
I often confuse Tennessee Williams plays and sitcoms in the late 80s. Early 90s. Jesus. No, I think Aunt Catherine is. Would you both like some beef? Like till the end of her days. It has nothing to do with her being deaf. She's a weird woman.
Right.
But
and
we
she
have
can
a nice
hear
little
now.
moment with. Oh yeah. Oh god. Evan's probably all the time just like, oh god, her breath smells terrible. It's like what?
Yeah.
Like, and she's just hurt immediately. Like it's just like, oh, you have no protective armor because you haven't heard anything in 20 years. You're just entering the world as a newborn babe. Anyway, Andy and Evan have a nice little moment at the end of the book where they're just like, I'll write you and you write me, and you know. He's probably gonna knock her up in 5 years. I'll have to drop out of high school.
Jeez, well, maybe.
Yeah, if they're 12 now, they'll be like 17.
Yeah, that's knock 'em up age.
That's the right age to knock up each other and drop out of high school.
I don't know if it's the right age, but I mean, it's an age to do that. Yeah,
it's the appropriate age.
He does ask. He's like, if he can, have a little bit of that. Have a little bit of that monster blood, just as a memento. Maybe I'll take some back. You take some with you, I'll take some with me, and then maybe at night we can both stare at it, and it'll be like we're staring at the same monster blood. Aww. And they turned to look under the carpet where it was, but the thing about that monster blood, Dylan, it gone.
Is it gone?
It's gone.
Gone like Michael Myers falling out of that second floor window.
Gone like that. Gone like Sarah Beth. Gone like the wind.
Mm-hmm.
So we've lost.
I don't think Sarah Beth comes back again, though. Does she? Oh, I don't know. I don't remember the sequels.
I'm
very excited to see what this.
We will have to see, but that's going to wrap it up. So we end up with Aunt Catherine coming around. She's fine. We end up with Evan going to live with his parents in Atlanta, saying goodbye to Andy, who has to live in this town that only has one toy store now. And Trigger will probably die of heart failure soon. That was a rough weekend for him and his old 12-year-old dog Heart. And we've lost Sarah Beth and the Monster Blood. So it does set itself up right for a sequel. And as Dylan has alluded to, we have 3 more sequels in the Monster Blood series, but they won't come back for a while. We'll be cruising through some bumps for a bit before we get back to those.
It's like the 30s, right? Until the first one comes out in the 20s?
I don't remember, actually. It might even be in the teens. But it's going to be in another season from this.
So the real quick, the Dutch version of the story, which we alluded to earlier, changed a couple things. Evan and Andy, they swapped the genders, so Evan is actually a small, not a lady, a girl, and the best friend role is played by a small boy instead. I think some names are changed. They switched around who did what. So Aunt Catherine is actually the bad guy, and the Sarah Beth is just an innocent, hypnotized cat. And lastly, and most importantly, the twins die. The twins are absorbed within the blob and disappear. So at least in the Netherlands, not only was R.L. Stine a dog killer, he was killing children left and right too. So
dang.
I'm kind of curious to see if this trend happens throughout all the Dutch books, or parents complained after that Monster Blood is too violent. It killed these 2 beefy young blonde boys.
Too beefy. Monster Blood 2 isn't until number 18, so we got a while.
Wow,
we got a little bit of a while, and then 3 doesn't come too long after that. It's 29, and then the 4th one is the last book of the original run, number 62, which will be 7 years from now in podcast time. We're slow, is what I'm getting at. But no, maybe sooner, hopefully.
No.
But I think it was a pretty good book, Dylan. I like this one. We talked about this a little bit off air, how this one has a few more angles to its scares. The source of the spooks in the last book was just Dad. There was nothing else going on. I mean, the basement wasn't really even that spooky itself. It was really just Dad. And in the first book, it was, I like the first book quite a bit. I like the tone of it, but it was sort of single layered in terms of where the spooks came from. But this one, it kept you guessing. I mean, was Trigger going to get some big E at everybody? Was the Bamer twins going to be the ones that became the things that turned into monsters and ate everyone? Was Aunt Catherine really as she seemed? Was it the cat? There's just so many things to fear in this one that I liked it. It kept me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, no, I feel like this is the first one that really hits its stride and kind of nails together all the components that would become like pretty big features of the stories moving forward. like Stay Out of the Basement felt a little bit too much in one direction, like a little too small, a little too focused. And he'll come back and he'll do, I think, better versions of those kind of isolated stories inside of a single house, like the Ghost Next Door, which I think that one must be one of my favorites because I mention it every other time. But
Yeah.
so I feel like this is a little more goofy, a little more humorous, while still maintaining that level of scariness. Though there are less scenes like in the basement of the thing when he's describing the faces and the plants that are like screaming and groaning, or the dream sequence in Welcome to Dead House, where you have them eating the family's flesh is falling off the bones, and they're eating dry bones from the bowl. And so I feel like it's a little less horror and a little more like not zany, but it's more pulpy. It's more like a little bit goofier, but it's more consistent also. Which I think helps.
And I think this one too, the world that was created, because we're putting Evan in an unfamiliar place, you know. And we did the same thing in the first one, but he was with us, you know, they were with their family or with the brother the whole time. Mm-hmm. Evan is in a very unfamiliar place, so he doesn't really know what to expect out of Andy. He doesn't know what to expect out of Aunt Catherine. At some point, he sort of loses track of who his dog even is. So I think everything is a little bit foreign to him, and I think that's what keeps the book sort of feeling uneasy, is because Evan doesn't really have a safe space like the other kids kind of did. So keeps you guessing. I don't know. I really like that about this one.
No, I thought I think this was. I think part of it is because it's such an even-keeled Goosebumps book. Like this, I think this is what really the rhythm becomes moving forward, is more something like this than definitely the first one. And the second one was getting there, and then this is the one that kind of gets over into what we, I think, expect when we read a Goosebumps book.
Yeah.
But I think it's very solid. It's kind of hard because it's very solid and it does everything well. Like there's no moments like the tree.
Yeah,
I feel like,
no
where
tree.
It's just like, really? It's paced better than the second book, which like after you analyze the second book is the kind of like, we're upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, downstairs, and then finally upstairs for the, like, you can break the book up. This one travels more and takes you to different places, and you get more of a sense that this is an actual town, and there's these little beefy boys running around who stay with their grandmother. Like you've got an idea that there's more going on in this town than just, especially to Welcome to Dead House, where everyone's dead in town, so they have no lives to talk about.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
Stay Out of the Basement, you just have the one nosy neighbor. So
yeah, this one definitely felt like a more alive community, and I do like it. I liked it quite a bit, so I'm going to give it my rating scheme here. I'm going to give it. I liked it quite a bit. I'm thinking there are ones that will be better, so I'm going to notch it at a 6 out of 7 weird cans of goop. 6 out of 7 weird cans of goop for me.
I'm going to say, I'm going to tell you a quick story here. Once upon a time, we had a terrier, very fat terrier, who enjoyed eating people food. She managed to get a hold of meatball from like a meatball sub.
Yeah.
Porked it immediately.
Oh, yeah?
Just the whole meatball, just swallowed it whole.
Ooh.
Got stuck in her throat. My dad does a Heimlich on her.
Sure.
He did. Got pressed it under her. Did the Heimlich. Meatball flies right out of her mouth.
Oh, nice.
So my dad lets her go. She chases after the meatball and tries to hork it down again. So I'm going to give this. I'll say 7 out of 14 and a half dogs eating things they shouldn't be eating.
Okay. So you're giving it a half.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Half a dog. Yeah, so like maybe like a Yorkie or something like that. Like a dog that you could stack two of them and then you get a proper size dog.
Proper size.
I mean, I like all dogs.
Sure.
I like all dogs.
Sounds like
Don't
you
get me
do.
wrong, I do like a Yorkie.
I do
I'll
like
take a Yorkie, but I'd like two instead.
I like
just
when
put
you-
them in my pockets.
When you go into your Boston accent, you just start making up weird math. I love it.
It's my Boston accent is really just a conglomeration of every city I've ever been into, mushed into one like just city accent. Like,
That's what it is.
just it's. I'm sure someone's like, "Is he from Queens?" No, that's not a Queen. What is that?
Yeah, it's like it's like if there was a
Philly?
government canister for accents, yours would just say like city accent, and you pop the top off of that and dig in.
Anytime you need a guy to like fucking do a contract, listen, we got to get some workers up here, do some things over there, down there. Like I could be a contractor, I could work at dock. Like, do we need to work at dock over there? Like, I got to work at dock. Like,
Jeez.
I mean, I can work in the subway. I can work for the like MTA, the MBTA. Listen, I've got my union card for like 5 different cities.
Dude,
Listen,
you're set.
I can work in any borough.
You know what? I'm going to put you to work right now because we're going to have to close out this friggin' episode. It was a pretty good episode, by the way. I enjoyed it. I think Monster Blood was really good, and I'm looking forward to the other monster hemoglobins that are coming up. But until then, folks, you can email the show. We do have an email address if you'd like to reach out, maybe say a few kind words, tell us what gave you goosebumps as a kid or what some of your favorite stories are or memories are of the books that we've covered. You can do that at wegotgoosebumpspodcast@gmail.com. One of the longest email addresses you've ever seen. It's in the show notes below if you need it to be clicked on instead of typed.
I mean, I don't think it's that long. I think you're exaggerating.
Terribly long.
We got goosebumps podcast@gmail.com is a perfectly reasonable.
It is a
email address.
complete sentence.
It's it was the best I could do. All right, listen. If you don't want to write out that email address, and to be honest, I don't blame you. You can also find us on Twitter, where we are at SayCheeseAndPod. And Trav came up with that one, so that's on him. But it's Say, Cheese, and Pod. So if you're familiar with the classic Say, Cheese, and Die, they'll steer you in the right direction.
That's right. And if you're not
We're already sharing some great things on there.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with that reference, you will be next episode. But please support the show on Patreon if you can. You can go to patreon.com/Polykill. That helps out the entire Polymedia network of shows that we have here. And Dylan, I mentioned it already. I've alluded to it, but I'm super duper excited for the next episode. Let's hit the back of the book.
Greg thinks there is something wrong with the old camera he and his friends found. The photographs keep turning out wrong. Very wrong. Like the snapshot Greg took of his father's new car that shows it total. And then Greg's father is in a nasty wreck. But Greg's friends don't believe him. Sherry even makes Greg bring the camera to her birthday party and take her picture. Only, Sherry's not in the photograph when it develops. Is Sherry about to be taken out of the picture permanently? Who is going to take the next fall for the evil camera?